What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports PinSeekers show. We got me, we got Big T. We're breaking it down for you guys. Of course, we got Uncle T in the chat after a nice big win he had in the PGA streets. But Tony, I'll go over to you. You were obviously sweating it out a little bit with Uncle T. I don't know if he was, nervous. Maybe his hand was shaking while he was eating his hot dog at lunch over everything. But how's everything going for you?
Yeah, it was a good sweat for him. He did the right thing too. If he got a few things go his way, the end of the day on Sunday, he would have won 50 grand. And he's had so many chances along the way in golf that it was good to see him get one there. He did the right thing too and hedged a bunch to get a nice little $25,000 win. Awesome price with a big win too. So golf is just churning, and it always does. This time of year, we really start to get into it and have a lot of fun. I know some of the weather edges last week. I think it was Saturday where Friday or Saturday, I forget which day now, was like a huge edge with the early, and did pretty good on that too. So lots of edge, and another week coming. We got March Madness this week, which we're obviously pretty deep into, but we still got golf starting before it, and we got to get dialed in there. And I think there's a pretty significant weather edge this week as well. Some of it I know has been backed off a little bit on Thursday, just looking at the recent updates where people think it might not be as bad. Friday still looks like a big difference to me. And like I always say on these golf shows, even if it doesn't pan out that way, it still makes you more unique just playing one side of the draw, at least heavy. I'm not saying you got to fade, because there is some of the studs when we get into the top range. Some of the best guys are in the afternoon. So I'm not saying you can't play anyone, but if you lean into it, especially with the value plays, I think it's a good strategy. And I want to throw the little needle in. Michael Kim, 30% owned. See you last week. No cut made.
Yeah, you'll have to let JBC know on the next show he's on, just to make sure he knows that, because he missed this show. Maybe he missed it because of the Michael Kim stuff. I saw a lot of chatter about that. So you got to let him know next week. I'll say this too. Uncle T, you've definitely had a hot dog for lunch. Tony, can you confirm?
I don't know if he eats it he does like hot dogs though. He didn't eat one today, but he does like hot dogs.
I'm just saying, if you're going to ask for someone to be a lunch connoisseur, I don't think it's Uncle T. You know what I mean? That's all.
He's definitely one of the more likely to take down a dog.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Uncle T, you can buy a lot of hot dogs with those winnings you got. You got the Boob Man in the house, Boob Bro. Happy to have you here hanging out. And
is that your nickname, the Boob Bros? I like that.
I mean, look at his name. It's Ryan L. Boomendryer. I mean, yeah. I think the Boob Bros are in the house. That's what I would say.
I like that nickname.
Yeah, fan of Mr. Boobs, but George, yeah. You're gonna get a picture, by the way. You're gonna get a picture on March Madness. So George,
exactly what you want from your tout, guys. Locked in.
Yeah. He says this on a bunch of shows. It's always funny. George, I got a tweet for you on Thursday. If you do not follow me at Travis Mangone, you need to follow me. I got a good Thursday tweet lined up for you. But all right, Big T, we should talk about the golf a little bit. And I want you to talk about the weather edge this week. What is the weather edge, right? Because this is going to be a significant portion of the show. So why don't we take a couple of minutes to just say, hey, this is my strategy this week.
Yeah, so early on in the week, it looked like there was going to be significant winds in the afternoon Thursday, rolling into Friday morning, and then tailing off Friday afternoon. But the more it looks like it's going to be pretty bad all day Thursday, although the earlier the better still. So I still think you can lean into it a little bit. And then on Friday, the later in the day is just way better than early. So even if it's only a minimal edge, I just like leaning into that kind of stuff because it pushes you in a direction. We already want to be different in spots. And when we get into these ranges, maybe it just fits my narrative, but some of the guys I like most are on that side of the draw too, where it just makes a lot of sense. So again, I'm not saying you can't play anyone. It's not anything like that. But whenever I get a chance to lean into something like this, I'm going to do it. especially for tiebreakers. Say you're torn on two guys, you go into the Run Pure Discord, you're like, this guy or this guy, one of them's an AM, one of them's a PM. I think it's very cut and dry that you would play the AM guy.
Yep, AM PM season from Uncle T, the man who won a bunch of money last week. Uncle T, I just want to let you know, if I was the host of a golf show, you would have all the time in the world to talk, okay? I just want to let you know. You would go first, and you would be the star of the show. But all right, let's get in and talk about the top end.
I blame Johnny for that too, by the way. I blame John.
To be fair, Tony, Johnny was drunk, so I don't necessarily blame him that much.
He's got to last more than 2 freaking drinks before he gets drunk.
Are you trying to tell me Johnny's a quick guy? He's a 2-pump jump. Is that what you're trying to say about our guy Johnny?
He always claims that he's like some marathon worker, but I don't know about all that.
Definitely not in the drinking streets. We will say that. We got 4 golfers in the 10K range, or as JSU says, 4 golfers in the 10K range. And Tony, what does definitely not make sense, right? Like if I told you, hey, who's the guy that is just, the oddball, right? Justin Thomas, 10-8 makes sense. Xander Schauffele, 10-5 makes sense. Tommy Fleetwood, 10-3, he makes a lot of sense. But Sepp Straka is 10K? Like that just looks absolutely crazy. Yes, he's played some really good golf. I get it. But I do think Sepp Straka is a tough one to play. We will mention he is a early golfer along with Tommy Fleetwood and Xander Schauffele. Justin Thomas, he is in the afternoon spot at 1:23 p.m. But Big T, what are we doing here with the 10K and up range?
Yeah, and like you're saying, I just you got to lean in a lot to how these guys are playing. It's just always been one of those strategies that I like. And Sepp Straka has just been amazing. I mean, he's got 6 top 15s in his last 7 events. I mean, you just can't ignore that. Like, I'm with you. Like, it looks weird. You're the one that got me on this years ago, too, with these guys. When they start playing good, you just got to shove them, and you just got to go with it. And I think that's where Sepp Straka is. I mean, you're talking – and on top of it, you look at the odds. So when they were all pretty bunched when it came out. And then with this weather, all of a sudden, Fleetwood's down to 10-1. He's the clear favorite. And then Sepp Straka is the second favorite at 16-1. Xander's all the way down to 20-1, and JT's 17-1.
Xander's been dealing with like an injury, right?
He looked really bad last week. Yeah. On that showdown day I was talking about, like everyone, because I played all early guys, that's why I put the content up. Xander was like the stud in the early flight, and he was the reason I didn't win every dollar. Like I 3x'd with 150 teams, and that was with like 70% Xander, and he stunk.
Tony, I think with Xander, I just think you don't play him unless he's like 1% owned and like
which he's not going to be in this field. So
correct, and like I think you stay as far away from him until he shows you life. Right? He's got to show you something.
Totally agree. And again, I think you just got to lean into form. It's always worked for me in DFS golf. I've had some of the most success in this sport. I just think you lean into it. Guys that are playing bad, you don't play. Guys that are playing good. And you know what? Everyone always wants to be first. You don't always have to be first. I know that sounds – sure, would it be nice? Okay, yeah, let's play Xander and he wins this week. Yeah, that'd be awesome. What happens when he finishes 27th, though? And I think these odds really show you where they think his game's at. I mean, for him to be 20-1 in this field – below, Sepp Straka 16-1 for just like you just said. That's crazy. Like that tells you where he's at. So for me, the 2 best plays in the field are Fleetwood and Sepp Straka, and that eliminates JT for 1 because the afternoon draw, and for 2, I want to narrow it down my player pool, and I also just think Fleetwood and Straka are just basically the nuts. They both go off early. They have some of the best form in the field. They check every box for me, man. Going like I don't see what they don't check. So I don't need these other guys in there. I just think it's very, very cut and dry this week. Those 2.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Been snapping. It sounds like Tony's a full fade. You're not a sprinkle guy, but would you?
The only
sprinkle
time
in
I'm
here?
a sprinkle guy is if it's like, say, Rory last week, where I didn't like him up top, playing good. I'll sprinkle occasionally, but Xander is definitely not a sprinkle type guy.
Yeah, I'm a sprinkle guy when it comes to ice cream. I'll say that. I like.
Yeah, you can get a little sprinkle there. I agree with that.
Yeah, when our guy, what's his name, Cowboy, when he's got we went to ice
Space
cream place.
Cowboy. That's custard. He always tells us that's not ice cream. That's custard.
I got some when we went to Space Cowboys custard place. I got some sprinkles. I'll say that.
Yeah, you get some. There's nothing wrong with that. Get a little sprinkles.
I don't know if you saw. Did you see what the White all the food concession stuff has come out? Did you see the White Sox? They have a sprinkles on a birthday cake milkshake. I'm in on that.
Yeah, I mean that's an in. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Tony, I should ask you this since we're on the food talk. Have you seen the Masters menu for the food stuff with Scotty Scheffler?
Yeah, I've seen it going all around Twitter.
He picked the ribeye. I'm in. I would eat with Scotty. I'm a big fan of his choices. I didn't like the chili part, but everything else I was in on. So
I mean, the ravioli. You were in on the rav.
Yeah, I like raviolis. I'm Italian. You gotta like some good raviolis. Is it my top choice? No, but I'll eat some raviolis.
You gotta get that's the part of the fun and having the menu when you win. The people gotta deal with it.
Look, so Uncle T says it's an awful menu. I mean,
Uncle T has if he won the Masters, there would be a lot of kids happy.
Uncle T, I'm gonna give you a heads up. I'm gonna make sure Big T does this. When the Masters show happens, I'm going to make sure you guys are asked what would be your Masters menu. I will not be the host of the show. I'm sure it'll be JSU drunk, but I want to hear you say hot dog, chicken fingers, and hear how terrible it is. So you got like a couple of weeks.
No, his would be pizza, 100%.
Yeah,
he eats pizza 6 days a week.
Yeah, it would be pizza. So, which I do love pizza, but Uncle T, I'm going to make sure they are asked this and. It'll be you have time. You got 2 weeks, so figure it out. So, all right, let's get to the 9K range. I think this range sucks, Tony. There's a lot of afternoon golfers as well in this range. So that makes it a little bit easier. Only guys that are playing in the morning in the 9K range are Tom Kim and Sam Burns. And honestly, I'm not a big Sam Burns guy at 9.8K. And then Tom Kim, I mean, he's fine, but he hasn't been amazing at 9.2K. Tony, talk to me about this range because I think it's an easy fade spot, except maybe a Shane Lowry who's great at playing in the wind, even though he's in a bad spot.
Yeah, so you got a lot of talking points in this range, and I think we get let off. This is another reason I like leaning into the weather a little bit because there's guys in this range that like I'm okay with, but I don't need. Like I always like Corey Connors, playing great, 6th and 3rd the last couple weeks. But he's an afternoon, and 9,600 does feel hefty for him. So we talked about Straka's price. I mean, Straka is definitely better than Connors, even though I'm a Connors guy. I love Connors. He's just significantly a better play than. I mean, you're looking at the odds. You got Connors 22-1, Straka 16-1, somewhat similar. But with the afternoon tee times, I just don't see it. And Burns. So I'd love to. I keep trying to make Burns happen, and this is kind of my point. He just has no form. I mean, he's got 6 straight events without a top 20. People are going to play him too, just because the morning tee time, and he's won this event 2 of the last 4 years. So in the last 4 years, he's got first, 6th, and a miscut last year. I just don't. I don't really see it with Burns. Like you said, Lowry, I do like Lowry, but he's playing good. He's got that afternoon time, though. He would be my guy, though, if I had to pick one. But he's another guy that's expensive. Zalatoris has been playing better, but still no top 10s. Tom Kim, not much form. Spieth, I do think Spieth could pop a little bit. Afternoon guy, though. And then Alex Smalley. I love Smalley, but, man, talk about a guy that feels overpriced. 9K. Again, though, he does have good form as well. I mean, he's got 4, 5 top 20s, 6 top 20s in his last 7 events. I mean, he's got really good form. I don't know. I just truly feel like the upper range, I just want to shove those top 2 guys, Fleetwood and Straka. But the 9Ks, can't play Burns. Can't play Zalatoris. Tom Kim, He just doesn't have enough going for him right now. I can't go to Tom Kim, Spieth afternoon, Smalley. I really think I'm going to fade the 9Ks and just play those two 10K guys, which means for the people that don't know like how that works in the Saber Sim type builds, you're going to end up with a shit ton of Fleetwood and Straka in these builds, but they're both going to be like Fleetwood could end up 40% in high stakes, 30% in the low stuff. Straka is going to be up there. So if they're both 30, 40%, what's wrong with going 70, 80%? I'm good with that. Kind of like MMA strategy where we shove those top guys and take our chances. I got to leave at least one 9K guy in, though, just for the optimizer purposes.
I kind of like leaving Shane Lowry. I don't know did he play bad last week? He may have missed last week.
No, I mean, he was fine. I mean, he didn't play good, but he finished 20th.
He's such a good win player. You know what I mean? Like just he'd be the guy I would leave. I think him and Connors have some upside at least in the, so they could be two afternoon guys that, and I want it to be clear though, like, so in the Saber Sim, I want my projection on Fleetwood and Straka to be at least 10 points higher than Connors and Lowry, because I want a significant amount. And if Connors and Lowry are both going to be 15 to 20%, those could be guys that I get the sprinkle type on, like 10%, a little bit below the field of those two guys. For sure. Also, I do want to address this. Where's my guy Johnny? He said he will not be hosting with all the whining and shit talk. I said you did a great job.
He's a quitter? I didn't think he was a quitter.
Johnny, I said you did a good job. I said I do not put any blame on you because you were drinking. You did your end of the bargain. Your end of the bargain was
I blame him for quitting. He's a quitter. I thought he had heart. It's like the fighters in the MMA. You don't ever want your fighter to quit. He's just quitting. I mean, with this little Iverson logo that he feels so good about in his picture.
I mean, we did talk shit about the drinking stuff, and then
I mean, it was 2 drinks and he was seeing stars. That's a fact. That's not trash talk. That's just what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
rehab's for quitters, Riles Golf Pro. I agree.
Rehab is for quitters. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you on the.
He's the one that was trash talking JSU.
Yeah. I don't quit after 5 minutes. That's all I know, Big T. Yeah, he's a grinder.
Think about quitting. You get him yelping in 5 minutes and you're done. Yeah, I don't need an hour to satisfy JSU. I don't need an hour. You need an hour to satisfy. I need 3.5 minutes to satisfy my customer.
Oh man, that's good stuff. All right,
I agree with Boobs. I mean, Team Boobs. That's correct, Team Boobs.
Team Boobs is the guy this show. He's the chatter of the show. I'll say that.
You got to make the 5 minutes count. You get in there and you get the job done.
All right, let's get the job done with this show. Let's get to the 8K range, which Tony, I did decide while you were talking and ranting about the 9K range and loading up on the 10K. If you play Straka and Fleetwood, what is your average salary? Do you have an idea?
I haven't looked, but I just know from the past that it's very, very manageable playing 2. I'm going to guess 7,500 without looking.
Pretty good, 7,425. So you can do a lot with that. You could even get some 8K guys, right? I think it's possible if you wanted to. Of course, you'd have to dip down into the 6K.
Nibble on the nipple and we out, Ben says.
Nibble.
Oh.
Chat's on fire right now. Michael Kim is 8.9K. He is in the early slot, maybe. I mean, Tony, if everyone
oh, baby.
It's a great time to get back on the Michael Kim. He is going to be 16%.
Look at that tee time, though, man. 7:40 a.m. is like pristine.
Yeah.
Nothing would make me happier, too. So last week, everyone's on him. He is going to be owned this week. I don't want it to sound like I'm saying he's not. But at 8,900, I could see a bounce. But that tee time is absolutely perfect. Perfect, man, going.
It is a good tee time. So I'm with you on that. A lot of guys that are kind of teeing off later on, like, man, you don't like playing Victor Hovland, Tony, and he's in the app.
He's unplayable right now.
I know. He is pretty bad right now. You know who's got some good tee times? Your boy, Benny on Adam Scott, who I always like playing Adam Scott. 8.3K is not too bad. Another guy who sucks is Cam Young. He's in the late window as well. So, you know what? There's a lot of guys in this late window in the 8K range, Tony, and it seems pretty easy to me to stay pretty far away from these 8K guys and just dip into the 7K range. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the 8K is always the toughest range for me. I just don't love it ever. It doesn't feel like there's as much upside. So some of the early guys, like Michael Kim, I do think is a just incredible play. The tee time, his form, yeah, he missed the cut last week at Sawgrass, but he missed by one shot. And before that, the reason everyone wanted to play him last week was how good his form is. So missing the cut by one stroke at Sawgrass isn't going to get me off him. The tee time, I mean, he is a very, very good play in this range. So I'm definitely on him. Lucas Glover is a late guy. He's got some form. I don't like totally hate it. JT Poston, though, late tee time, not really any form. Taylor Moore, late tee time, not much form. Our boy Clanton, who we like, late, really late tee time. Hovland, you're just not playing Hovland right now. 4 missed cuts, 5 events. And then you get to these guys, Adam Scott and Benny On, like you're talking about. Adam Scott is like a true condom play to me. He's been awesome for a few years, but you start looking at the last, let me even scan out a little bit to the last 18 weeks. So Adam Scott, last 18 weeks, I mean, just nothing, like just no top 15s, just not a ton. It's a true 8K play, right? Like he's fine. I don't mind Adam Scott as like a filler type play. I just don't love it. And then Benny On is the other. You're not playing Cam Young, Jake Knapp. I don't need in the afternoon. So literally, you're down in the 8Ks. You got Michael Kim, Glover, who's late, and then Scott and Benny On. As far as Benny On, I mean, I don't know. I just don't love the 8Ks. I'm with you. If I can play those guys up top, I mean, I haven't locked guys up top very often. I'm giving some consideration because of how much I like Fleetwood and Lowry. They just like stick off the page. And if we don't love the 9 and 8Ks, I don't know. I'm lower on it for sure. I'm going to leave Adam Scott and Benny On in my player pool for right now, but I definitely don't love it. Michael Kim, I do love, though. He's definitely my number one in the 8Ks.
Yeah, Uncle T had a good point that I want to bring up. Michael Kim overnight, 45-1 to 30-1. So definitely matters, right? And that's a lot of that's the weather kind of going into play. And Vegas is obviously.
I mean, that tee time is awesome. Is it the earliest? I need to look. Who's the? It's not the earliest, but it's the second earliest. 7:35 and 7:40. So, and the earlier the better. I mean, there's not that many good guys that go off early. Bridgman goes off super early. Rico Hoey goes off super early. Bramlett. I mean, these guys that go off that early have a significant edge, I think.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that. And that's why I don't like the 8K range. And not just that, the 8K range typically is just not a fun range to play guys, right? It just doesn't like work typically. And there's always cheap guys we can find. JBC says that a lot. I know you're big on the stars and scrubs build. So, yeah, let's get to 7K up. We'll go 7.9 to 7.5, Tony. Again, there's a lot of guys we could talk about in this range. I know you and I definitely like the ownership stuff a little bit more than JBC does when it comes to the 7K golfers, and we're pretty big on talking about it. The guys I'm seeing higher, Keith Mitchell, 20% owned. He is a morning guy. Steven Yeager, 18% owned on Sabre. He is another morning guy. And then I'm seeing 19% and 15% on Dietrich and Bezadenhout, and they are morning guys, and 16% on Kurt Kitayama, who's another morning guy. So I'm curious how you're going to factor in this 7.9 to 7.5K, like these guys that are high owned, along with they're just morning guys versus the late guys, right? Because I think naturally you're going to see a lot of ownership on the early golfers.
Yeah, I do think it's going to help just a little because some of the chatter around Twitter is how it's not as bad now and stuff. So hopefully it gets a little bit off of it. But either way, like you said, some of the early guys are just some of the better guys too. Like Keith Mitchell's one of the better guys in this range. Dietrich, Bez, these guys are some of the better golfers in this range. So first thing I'm going to do when I get in these cheap ranges, like I said, I'm going to lean into the time. So unless it's a guy that I just absolutely love, I mean, like this Rasmus dude, 240 tee time. I mean, you're gone, buddy. Like I'd have to love you. Sahith has played terrible. I'm not playing him in the afternoon. Ben Griffin's played good, but that tee time is just too late for me. Bud Cauley played great last week. Off of him. Gerard, I love him, but off of him. So already you're down to 2, 4, 6 early guys. And honestly, I think they're all somewhat in play. Jaeger has pretty good form. He's got 2 top 10s in his last 7 events. Played here a few times. Keith Mitchell hasn't shown the upside, but he did finish 17th here. He's got an 11th here not too long ago as well. I like him. Dietrich, like you said, Dietrich's always got upside. I mean, he won the Phoenix Open, which was a month and a half ago. I like that. Bez, I feel like Bez keeps popping. He's just solid, and I could see him being a good play this week. Kitayama is a guy that has really struggled, but I like his price, and he pops at weird times. So Kitayama is actually a guy that I think will be under 10% owned, around 10%. Looking around the industry, there's 16, 14, maybe low, but still at that price, I think Kitayama is a good play. Rasmus has cooled off a little bit, but I love his talent too at 7,500. I think you can easily go there. So honestly, this is a range where I feel like you can lean into these tee times because some of the guys I like more just fit the tee time anyways, which again, I know I keep saying the same stuff, but if it's guys I like and if the tee times match up, I don't really see how that hurts me. Even if the tee time like luck doesn't work out, you still got guys you're not forcing it. Like some people think when you do that, you're like forcing it and stuff. It just gets you on natural combinations, and they're the guys I like. So I'm going to be pretty heavy on that range.
All right. Yeah. One thing I will say, Tony, definitely, if you are going to do this, you're going to have to look for like, I'm not saying you have to have like 3-5% guys in your lineup, right? But you got to find at least one. You know what I mean? Like when you just got
that's easy to do too.
Of course,
it's always going to happen.
But when people are hand builders, right? Because not everyone in here is using an optimizer. Some people are just watching and they're building by hand. I always like to make sure, hey, is there one guy at least like below 10% that I can, kind of make a case for that it's getting a unique lineup? Because it's about the full ownership. You know what I mean? You don't need a bunch of like 1% guys, but you do need to mix and match them within your lineup. So that's just something I want to make sure I'm thinking a little bit about here when I'm building my teams. That's the reason I maybe like Shane Lowry a little bit. He's coming in at 10%, but maybe that gets a little bit lower, who we talked about as a 9K guy a little bit earlier. Let's see if we can find some of these guys that maybe are lower owned in the 7, 4, and 6K range. We can always find low owned guys in this range. I'm curious what it's going to look like here. Andrew Novak, Billy Horschel. Those are 2 low owned guys in that range. One guy is in the early window, Billy Horschel. I always like Billy Ho. I feel like he just has an upside, right? I like to search for upside guys in this range. The highest owned guy is Mr. Bridgman, who's shown a ton of upside, but he is going to be 20% owned. He is in the morning spot, so he continues to run pure. I know JBC's talked up Doug Gim, and he says he can't putt, but if he had eyes, he could actually play well. He is in the afternoon window. Other guys that are early, though, Mr. Johnny Vegas, Matt Wallace, who you and I have talked about in the past a bunch, Matt Kuchar, I know he's old, but hey, he is in that early window. Tony, who are some of the guys you're looking at from 7-4 to 7K?
Yeah, Bridgman looks like the clear best play to me. That tee time's incredible. He has really good form, 2 top 15s. He got 15th at the Arnold Palmer, 2nd at the Cognizant. Just good form, good price. He fits that build we were talking about. Again, how Mangone talked about it. You put those 2 studs in, whether it's my 2 or 2 others, you're at about 75, 7,400. You can just spray this range, and Bridgman fits that absolutely perfect. I mean, you look at his odds with this early tee time. He is – where's he at? He is all the way down to 50-1. So, that's just a really, really good play at this price point. So just think about that. You can play those 2 studs who are 10-1 and 16-1. You go down, all of a sudden you got Bridgman at 50-1 for 7,400. You got other guys down in here like Highsmith is, how much is Highsmith? Did I already get rid of Highsmith? I can't find him now. Highsmith is 7,300. He is 60-1. Adam Scott's 56-1. There's so many guys. Bez is 62-1. All of a sudden, you got a full team of all early guys that are just really good odds to where you can have a full team. That's how I like to build. So much upside, all of that. So looking at the rest of this range, Billy Ho, I'm with you. I always like him. I like his upside. I do feel like he's cooled off a little bit, though. 3 missed cuts the last 5 events, no top 25s. I don't love that, but I do love the price. So he's definitely staying in my pool. Who else is down here? Highsmith. I mean, Highsmith has – so just think about that for a difference. Like Billy Ho, last 5 events, no top 25s and 3 missed cuts. Highsmith, last 5 events, 3 top 20s and a win. So I know you can't just game log watch, and it doesn't mean everything. But if I see that, I just got to play Highsmith over him. Odds are good. Højgaard, I think he is definitely in play at 757. Who else is down here? I mean, Matt Wallace, I always like him, but he doesn't look great. McGreevy's one of the afternoon guys that I love his talent. Does go off super late, though. Bramlett, I think Bramlett's a really good play. 3 straight top 30s. He got 3rd at the Puerto Rico. He is 746 tee time. I like that.
Tony,
Hoey, like we talked about, he's played pretty good. 7K. He's got a really early tee time. One guy that I always like is this Thorbjorn. He used to always pop in big events a few years ago. Doesn't have like incredible form, but I love the price tag on him. Ryan Fox, man, Fox has not great form right now, but I like the price on him. And then I saw our boy, this Phillips dude. Oh, he's got a late tee time, but he's like in a featured tee time with a couple studs in the afternoon. It's a good range, though. Again, like I'm going to play a lot of these guys in this range. They're really good plays, and you can just spray them in there with those top 2 guys and just mix and match with whoever you like. But Bridgman and Highsmith, I think, would be my 2 favorites in this range. Bramlett, I like a lot. And then Thorbjorn is like my low-owned sneaky play that I like.
Yeah, I actually like the Thorbjorn call. And a couple other guys, Ryan Fox, I always like playing him. He had the T20 at the Players. Maybe he's getting hot, right? I think he's got upside, and I always like to search for upside guys in this range. Another guy who won a tournament not too long ago, I know it wasn't a big tournament, right? But Carl Phillips at 7K. He's going to be an early tee time guy. Actually, no, he's actually late tee time. I read that wrong. So never mind. I read that wrong.
Featured group, but he is a big talent.
Yeah, I read that wrong. I thought he was an early guy, so my bad. But I like Ryan Fox. Fox is definitely a guy I think I'm going to get some exposure to in this range. And I like the Bramlett call as well. Is this course wise, Tony? Is this one for like longer hitters and everything? Because I know he's a long hitter.
I wouldn't say it like fits him to the tee, but he'll be all right in it. Distance is never going to help him or hurt him here.
I agree. A distance doesn't ever really hurt. There's like one
it's
time.
Not like a full bomber's paradise, but it's fine.
All right, let's get to the 6K range, Tony. This is where, and I'll just do a quick look. Like, I do not think there's one guy, not one, below, over 5%. So like this is where we can easily grab a cheap 6K guy kind of to fill out our teams. And maybe we only just take one of them. You know what I mean? We could take 2, but maybe it's only 1. Let's go through some of the guys. So the ones that I'm looking at, I always like Justin Lower, right? Justin Lower is definitely one. I'm curious to get your Gary Woodland take, as I always call him. But Gary Woodland, he is an early guy, so we can't ignore him. I always like not Cam Davis. I always like Adam Schenk. He's always someone that I like, just a good iron player in general. So he's someone that I'll look at. Grayson Sigg, I always like him a little bit too. We talked about Eric Cole. I know he's in this range. I'm not a big Eric Cole guy. Patrick Fishburne looks like he is going to be the highest owned guy in this range at 5%, but Does that really matter? Not that much for me. And there's a lot of guys that we can pick and choose from in this range, Tony. I'm assuming you are going to stick to some of the higher upside guys that are kind of teeing off early on. Who are some of the guys you're looking at?
Yeah, you have a lot of guys in this range too. No surprise on that one, but just scrolling down because just work our way down. You got one guy that sticks out to me is Davis Riley, just pure talent wise. He has where'd he go? He has the 808 tee time. He just has popped at random times. He got second here 3 years ago, sixth 2 weeks ago at Puerto Rico. I just like his talent. He had no form early in the year, but 48th, 6th, 38th last week at the Players. I feel like he's trending a little bit in the right direction there. So I like Eric Cole a lot. When is Victor Perez is early? Victor Perez is always a guy that I like to target. He's a big game type hunter. Let's see who else has some pretty good form down here. Fishburne, like you said, one advantage to Fishburne. We've seen him pop. He's got one of the super early tee times, 746. Man, I used to like Adam Svensson, but 3 straight missed cuts. I can't really ever go there. Who else is in this range with some decent form? There's just so many guys in here that you really got to look through. Neil Shipley, he's the guy kind of from the Masters last year that played with Tiger, 947. I think his talent is pretty good. He plays with Stephen Fisk, who I like a lot. He finished 4th at Puerto Rico, 17th at Mexico, and then Shipley finished 15th and 9th on the Corn Ferry. I like Shipley's talent, though. I think he's from Ohio State. I remember the whole story, him playing with Tiger. Both those guys are 947, so not the earliest, but early. I think you can both go to both of those guys. Who else is down?
The only problem with dipping into that range a little bit, Tony, is like you're probably going to have to play like an 8K guy, and there's not a lot we like there. But
that's the Michael Kim team. Like, so what's our salary if we do start with? Let's say we start with Fleetwood, we go Straka, we go Michael Kim at 89. So then you're at 63. But all of a sudden, if you play like Bridgman, like we talked about, then you're at 6,700 for your last two. I mean, there's a because I don't hate the build going Fleetwood, Straka, Kim, 2 7Ks, and then like a mid to high 6Ks type guy.
No,
you do have a lot more risk in that build, though, obviously. But like Davis Riley, I think Davis Riley's like a great play. He could easily fit in a build like that, and then you're down to 6,600.
I like the build going like just a little bit off of the like Michael Kim to like an Adam Scott. You know what I mean? Like that. I feel like that is a little better, at least for me. But it's let's grab 1 6K guy. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean So Jack, let's see. Yeah, I mean, again, Jack. Everyone's a bit about the weather. Live far away. It's microclimate. The weather can change fast. Totally. And there's edges to play both sides. You can play afternoon, it flips, there's thunder. There's so many things that can happen, which again is my point. Like, we're not doing it just to get if it's like that. There's so many advantages to doing it. It gets you unique. If the weather does fall your way, it's great. If it breaks neutral, it's fine. I just like it. Doesn't mean everyone's going to like it, but I like things that get me unique. I think it's one thing I'm pretty good at too, is certain stuff like that. So, yeah, you don't have to do it. And it could definitely go the other way. Well, I'm not saying anything about it is foolproof, but nothing in DFS is foolproof. You have to take some stands, and you got to roll the dice on some certain stuff.
Yeah, and it depends how many lineups you're playing, too. Like, if you're not playing that many lineups, like, you got to definitely take a little bit of stands on some stuff. So, all right. I don't know if you got anything else to mention the 6K range, Tony, if you want to move on and give our winners.
I'm trying to see if there was anyone else down here. I mean, there's just so many guys that you got to take some stabs on some people. This Van Week dude finished 4th at Puerto Rico, but he's got no other history. I need to look him up because 6,400, finished 4th. I don't see any other history. So I'm guessing he's 23 years old. If you haven't checked out this smart golf info we got on the Run Pure site too, it's freaking awesome. I love that. I love how clean of a look it is on the site. I can see he's 423. I'm going to look this dude up real quick.
Kieran Van Wyck. So basically John Wick we got here.
Yeah. I mean, how can you say no to John Wick? I mean, so he won. He's the first amateur to win. I mean, he just looks like a good golfer. Just scrolling through him.
I did find an article on it. It's five things to know about Kieran Van Wyck. So he had an impressive debut. They got his pro success, the Puerto Rico Open. His amateur success, he was at the College of Charleston. He won the conference championship in 2022 and 24. Won the conference title as a freshman, and then he was golfer of the year for his conference. So he hasn't turned pro yet, but he has an NIL deal with Under Armour. So there you go, Tony. That's some of the info.
Yeah, I mean, it's good enough for me at 64 because all I'm doing on this smart golf info is just going down and see if anything sticks out. And seeing a 4th place finish 2 weeks ago on the PGA Tour does mean something to me. So I'll definitely – and the good part about guys like that, you literally only have to play 5% of him, and you're way above the field, 5 to 10%. He's going to be 1% owned. So I love that. Let's see if anyone else pops down here. Man, I don't see this William Moal dude finished 6th at Puerto Rico as well. I remember I played him not too long ago. He's actually played 6 events on the PGA Tour. He hasn't had much success outside of Puerto Rico, but 6,300, I could leave him in my pool. Danny Willett, actually a somewhat sneaky play as Willett. Like I think he won the Masters about 10 years ago or somewhere, maybe even longer. But he's 6,200. He's got an early tee time. He's got a top 10 at the Farmers earlier this year. I have to have some interest in him. Who else? Anybody else down here? Another dude, this 6,100 guy, Gabrelchik, finished 2nd in Panama at the Corn Ferry. He's just only got Corn Ferry, but he's got a 2nd. Will Chandler's got a 6th at Phoenix. Again, when I get down in the low 6Ks, I'm just looking for anybody that's finished top 10 and stuff. Toasty, our boy Toasty why doesn't he have a price? Is he out of the field? He must.
I always do like him. Is he not in the field or something?
I don't know. He doesn't have a price next to him.
He's 6.3K.
On the smart golf, it doesn't have a price next to him. But yeah, he's got
he replaced Akshay. That's why, Tony. So he's
I got you. So he finished 10th at the Mexico. So all these guys down low, again, I say it every week on this show, I just don't need a ton of these guys. Like, throw some flyers, especially if you're going really heavy on the top guys. Because, man, go and talk about it. Say you play those 3, Fleetwood, Straka, Michael Kim. They're all going to be high-owned, very high-owned Fleetwood and Straka. But if you pop in 2 of these 6K guys at 1% owned, it doesn't matter who else is on your team. You're going to be unique. So, what is Johnny saying? How often people realize you're professionals only to dump on you? I mean, we are wrong a decent amount of time, but we're right times too. That's the fun part of doing this every day.
We're definitely right and wrong, right? Like it's, but hey, we're doing our best.
Who was railing on us?
Position. What? Who
was railing on us?
I don't know who was railing on us. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Johnny earlier. Johnny
needs to. He hasn't came back since. He might be still on the bench trying to get some production.
Yeah. He hasn't been in the chat. You are right. I did see Johnny on the show yesterday, and he looked good. He was, back to full strength. So
he was whining. He said he was hurting a little bit from those drinks.
People were asking about, hey, can we get a check on Johnny in the Discord chat the next day? They were definitely giving some updates or looking for updates, I'll say. He did a good job, though. He battled. All right. Tony, do you want to give our winners? I guess we'll give one top end guy and one low end guy to win the tournament for us here. I'll let you go first. Who's your winner up top?
Let me pull up the app here real quick. So let me get some current odds of what we can get.
Yeah, give us the current odds. That's a good call.
Let's see. So I don't think, even though I love Fleetwood for DFS, I don't love him for bet wise. I do think Sepp Straka 18-1. I think he's got to be my pick up top. And Michael Kim, those would be my two guys. 18-1 and 33-1 would be my top guys. But then go down a little further to guys I like. What Bridgman's 55-1. I love him like we talked about. Let me see who's like super early that.
What is Shane Lowry's odds? Even though he's an afternoon guy, what are his odds?
He's 40-1 on DraftKings. How's that right? That can't be right.
Is that good or bad?
I mean, that's huge odds.
I would say it's good. I mean,
he's 27-1 on Pinnacle. He's 40-1 on DraftKings. That's an incredible price.
Yeah, that's my.
That shows you how bad the wind. I don't know how people don't lean into this one because that shows you right there. Like, I'm 40-1.
I'm with you, Tony. Like, if you told me to pick an early guy, like I would just take Fleetwood probably and hope he gets it done. But I would take Lowry. 40-1 on Lowry is insane. So that's my pick. I mean, I know the wind is a problem. Why would Lowry might WD, Riles? Like, what's the reason? Is there like something going on that I don't know about? Because like if he WD, why would he WD? Depends on the buffet setup. I'll tell you this, Uncle T, the buffet setup at the Masters, I don't think Shane's missing that buffet. You might be missing an Uncle T, but Shane's not. So
this is what I'm going to do because I looked at the tee times. These are my winners. So I'm going Michael Kim. These are all early guys, too. I'm going Michael Kim at, what'd I say? Michael Kim at 33-1. I'm going Bridgman at, what did I say? Bridgman at,
I don't know what number you said.
55-1. And then I got two long shots that are even earlier tee times. Rico Hoey, who is, he's only 90-1. That shows you the power of these tee times, man. Like, he's 90-1. Like, that's crazy. I wish it was higher, but I love the tee time. Then let me look up Danny Willett and Chandler Phillips.
I'm going to get
super easy.
While you do that, I'll give my one guy that I'm going cheap that I really like is I'm doing Ryan Fox 90-1. That'll be my guy's cheapie. So
Chandler Phillips is 150-1 with the first tee time off. Danny Willett though, Rico Hoey's the play. I think I can't believe he's only, what did I just say, 90-1. He's only 80-1 on DraftKings. That's an incredible play, Rico Hoey.
I like the Hoey call. Like, listen, I'm down to play like Rico Hoey, Ryan Fox, and then like Sepp Straka and Fleetwood. And
yeah, I think we're gonna have a big week. I feel good about where this player pool's at.
Tony, so listen, if I play Rico Hoey and Ryan Fox, who we both like as cheap guys, right? One's 5%, the other one's 4%. So I got my two low-owned guys. I play Sepp Straka and Fleetwood. I'm at 7-8 for my last two spots. So give me two guys in the upper 7K range. I don't even have to dip into the 6K range. I think it's a golden build. So I'm in on that. I like that setup. That's definitely what I'll be looking at this week. Yeah, hopefully I can chip. We'll have to see. Tony, any final thoughts before we get on out of here?
No, I feel good where we're at. And again, we're going to be back all week, every day at 10 a.m. talking college hoops. For sure, Steve and Gav will be on. I will be on most likely all 4 days, if not 3 of the 4 days. JBC will probably be on at least 1 or 2 of the days. We'll have you covered for March Madness. And if you use that code, Steve15, it's literally only $59.50 for all of March Madness. So definitely check that out if you plan on betting the tournament or anything like that, like we will be, because it's the funnest 4 days of the year. So we're going to crush golf, crush freaking March Madness, and we got MMA, and we got NASCAR, and we got F1, and tennis is at Miami this week, on top of just the normal stuff, NBA, and hockey and all that stuff. So we got it all covered for you.
Yep, we got it all covered. I'm excited for March Madness. Starting tomorrow will be a good time. It'll be bright and early for me since I'm in Mountain Time. So I'll have to get up a little bit earlier, make sure I'm dialed in, getting the winners set up, following the playbook and everything like that. If you do want to sign up, use that code Steve15, get you 15% off your first payment. But for me, Mangone and Big T, see you guys later.